Hi everyone, my name is Stella Bogonko and welcome back to Zinduka. This is season 2 of Zinduka and I'm excited at the prospect of what God has in store for us as a nation and also on Zinduka even as we embark on this new journey. Campaigns are over and the elections are over, and obviously some of us have mixed feelings. Some of us are excited, some of us are hopeful, others are just not sure what the future holds. But whichever place you are at, we guarantee you that on Zinduka you will find a reason to smile, because we intend to not just bring you information but to bring you hope. Congratulations to every single person who ran for an office and managed to get it. And even for those who didn't manage to get in, it takes a lot for you to put yourself out there, to believe that you can, and to try and convince other people that you can actually lead them. And so whether you got the position or not, and for those, especially for those who did not get the position, I still congratulate you, because I believe that that's an experience that could help you in the future. I know that it takes a lot for you to put yourself out there, especially when you're trying to convince other people that you can lead them. And that is no small feat, and it takes a lot in every sense of the word for you to be able to run a campaign and go through it to the end. So well done on that. And my prayer is that you will not just stop there, but that your desire to serve, you will find another way to serve. And now that the elections are over, one of the reflections that I've had is the voter turnout. My belief is that the 60% or so voter turnout was a reflection of the true reality on the ground, because even as we went across the country to talk to the different young people in different places, one of the things they kept saying is that they just don't see how different this government, whoever gets in, will be should they get into office. And of course, there's a reason why they did not turn out to vote. But regardless of that, my prayer is that those that got into office this term will give young people a reason to turn out to vote in the next election, because election is not an event, as we've had many times. Election is a cycle, and we've just begun another cycle. And so the leaders that have gotten into office, this is your scorecard already being put out there, and we hope that you will do the best, not just for yourself, but for the people that put you into office. With every new regime, there's always a sense of excitement, a sense of hope, a sense of newness that comes with it. And this regime is no different. The truth is there is a lot of excitement in the air, a lot of hope in the air, especially as we wait for the president to name his cabinet. All of us watched as the presidential candidates in particular hit the ground running across this country to rally many people to vote for them. And some of us were really impressed, especially at the work ethic of some of the presidential candidates, as they tried to literally run like 8 or 9 campaigns in a day, or stopovers in a day, which is quite impressive. And as mentioned, especially during the inauguration speech by the deputy president, there is a standard that has been set, not just in terms of the political campaigns that went on, but our hope as Kenyans is that that energy, that excitement, that convincing power that was there during the campaigns will actually be translated to government and public service delivery. We hope that we will see the early morning meetings. We hope that we will see the programs that are being rolled out aggressively. And like I said earlier, even as the president reflects and actually puts a system and a team in place, we hope that they will be able to have not just the same energy, but be able to deliver on the promises that have been stipulated in the manifesto, and they will maintain the tempo and keep the hopes of Kenyans high as they roll out the programs that they have in store. For a leader, you can have certain amazing qualities, but the make or break usually happens when it comes to hitting the ground running, and the team that is able to do that for you or not. So even as we look forward to the team that will be named, we hope that it will be a reflection of what Kenyans are looking forward to. So like many Kenyans, I also have my own anticipations, and I have 3 in particular that I'd like to share here on the Zinduka platform. Some of the things that I'm excited about, even as we look to this new regime, as they put their programs, their policies in place. And one of them is the bottom-up economics. Of course, many of us have laughed about it, we've joked about it, economists have tried to explain what it is. It's been a very exciting time of being educated. And for the first time during campaigns, we're not talking about ethnicity, we're not talking about our tribesmen, we were actually talking about substantive issues that affect the everyday mwananchi. And we hope that this pattern remains throughout this rollout or implementation period as we watch and see the programs and the policies that we will put in place. So when it comes to the bottom-up economics, one of the thoughts that I've had towards it is the impact it will have on the ordinary Mwananchi. This is the promise that was made on the campaign trails. This was the conversation. How do we impact that young person who's hoping to get out of college and actually have a job? That farmer who's been putting out so much time and so much effort, but they're not able to see it translate in terms of revenue or the income that they generate from their farms. That mama mboga who wakes up to go, buy bogas from Marikiti and come and sell and is not able to make or earn a living, a substantive living, because the cost of living has just been way too high. Whatever the case might be, we're looking forward to the rollout of the bottom-up economics, and we hope that we can actually demonstrate to the world that there's a new way of doing things, especially when you focus on the masses and have policies that actually affect the everyday citizen. The second thing that I'm looking forward to is youth mainstreaming. This is one of the things that the president has been emphasizing on. And what it means is that apart from just having a youth ministry, we're going to have the focus of young people, a young person in particular, who will be able to look at the different sectors and the different programs that are being rolled out, whether it's in the affordable housing sector or in the agriculture sector, construction, government projects, when it comes to different other sectors like the petroleum and all that stuff, and be able to identify opportunities for young people. How can young people take advantage of this? We know that the previous government, over the last 10 years, we've enjoyed, or there has been a policy called AGPO, which means that 30% of the tenders are supposed to go towards women and young people. And one of the things we highlighted in the last Zinduka season was that many young people are feeling like while policies are in place, those policies don't actually translate to the young people or to the intended persons. And one of them, like I said, was AGPO, where rather than young people benefiting from the tenders, they were going to people who camouflage themselves or represent themselves as young people, but they're not. So how will this government make sure that the promises that have been made, especially in terms of youth mainstreaming? For example, in the affordable housing sector, there's a promise of moving the construction, annual construction, from 200,000 to 500,000. That's a huge investment. That's a huge opportunity, especially for the ordinary young person who's gone through the TVET program that has been aggressively rolled out in the previous regime. We have many young people who have skills as welders, as plumbers, as masons, and they're waiting for this particular opportunity. How do we make sure that they don't just hear about the opportunities, but they take advantage of them as young people and not through other channels? One of the other programs that had been put in the previous regime was the Youth Fund. And as one who experienced a short stint in the Youth Fund, one of the things that I realized was that the issue was not the money being translated from national government to the fund. The issue is not young people actually putting in effort to apply and, meet the criteria that was needed. The issue is that there were just too many hoops to, jump. And I'm sure that that's one of the things that will be addressed by this government. And the other issue was that if you bring young people together, and you ask them to come up with an idea, and they submit the idea or present the idea, if the idea is not profitable, they will not be able to repay the loan that has been given to them, especially if that fund is revolving. And that's what brings me now back to the third point, or one of my third reflections about my excitement for this new government, which is the Hustler Fund. As you put up the Hustler Fund, Mr. President, and your team, my prayer is that it will address the gaps that have been there in the previous funds that have been rolled out by the government, which is the hoops that young people have to jump. But secondly, the ability to vet the various programs to make sure that if it's a revolving fund, then it means that the young people have to be able to pay back. For them to be able to pay back, it means that they need to be able to be earning a living, to be making a profit enough for them to sustain themselves, and then to be able to pay back the loan at the interest that has been given. There are many other promises that we could look at in the manifesto, and we intend to dig into this because Zinduka Season 2 is not just about campaigns now, because that season is over. This season is about making sure that the many young people that are hopeful about this regime actually get to know, get to be part of, get to prepare themselves to take advantage of the doors that will be opening. My name is Stella Bogonko, and this is Zinduka Season 2.